Last year, over 10,000 millionaires left the UK. That's the equivalent of 528,000 average UK taxpayers, and they took along £66 billion of assets with them. So what's happening? Why are people leaving the UK in such high numbers, especially because it's projected to be 16,000 next year? These are the top 5 reasons I think people are leaving the UK. Number 1, the cost of living. Rent has increased by almost a third since the beginning of COVID, and there's no signs of things slowing down. Things such as utility bills as well have gone up significantly due to the tensions in Eastern Europe, and as a result, we're talking 3 times as much for some people and some households, which is just not sustainable, particularly when you're trying to build and become a part of the middle class, which has been eroding for a very, very long time. Number 2, taxes. Britain has always taxed fairly high compared to the rest of the world. However, in the past, people had felt that there was something in return for those taxes in the form of opportunities or support from the government. In recent times, that perception has shifted significantly, where now people feel as though they are giving a lot and not seeing much in return, and part of this is due to poor spending by the government. Number 3, politics. Politics in Britain has been divided much like the rest of the world and the US. There has not been a clear leader or a party that's been able to make real waves in terms of uniting the people and bringing us together once more. I do have a little bit of sympathy for the politicians, which maybe I shouldn't, and that's not a popular thing to say, but generally speaking, UK's political landscape has been a mess for 3 decades, and it's impossible to see the trajectory changing through one party, through one term, and this is going to have to be a long-term struggle. People are feeling as if they don't want to be here for that journey. There is a lot at stake for particularly millennials who are looking to build their wealth and set up their families in a stable environment, and at the moment it feels as if the UK are not able to offer that, which is causing them to look at other places, particularly the Middle East. Number 4, the weather. The UK has always had a very mild climate with lots of precipitation, lots of rain, and even if it's not raining, it feels like it's overcast and gloomy. And people were willing to put up with this, but for the other reasons that I've mentioned around the lack of opportunity in the political direction as well as the cost of living, now people are starting to think, is it worth it? Could I go somewhere where the weather is nice and I can prosper more for myself and my family? Number 5, the annoyances of Britain. Now, these are little things that I've noticed from young professionals and friends and colleagues of mine, like paying £10 for a drop-off at the airport. This is obviously ridiculous because you're driving there yourself, you're using their parking facilities to drop someone off for 5 minutes, and you have a £10 charge, which is not an insignificant amount of money at all. So the alternative is you send someone in an Uber or a cab, but guess what? They still have to pay that drop-off charge, so it's still being reflected in your fare. This type of thing is really a small thing in the grand scheme of things, but an annoyance that people experience all the time. Another annoyance that I could think of is the TV license. So the TV license used to be something that you paid here to view the BBC channels here in the UK, so British Broadcasting Channel. Things like iPlayer, if you were using that, you would have to pay a TV license. However, since people have shifted more towards using streaming services such as Netflix, such as Amazon, they are now being encapsulated within the TV license as well. So paid services, you're essentially paying for twice. Doesn't make sense. And it's this kind of illogical law that is putting people off. Another fee that I've recently come into contact with is the customs fee. So I bought something on AliExpress that was imported here from China, and because it's worth over £39, the UK likes to charge you as if you've purchased that within the UK. So I ended up having to pay almost £40 in taxes to the UK, even though they did not contribute towards the quality of the product or getting that to me quicker. There is a lack of value there once again. Finally, with the number of people that I know personally that are moving, there is a bit of a knock-on effect as well. With each person that leaves the UK, there is less reason for me to stay here because a large part of it is my community and my family that have been here, and if they are starting to leave, there is really very little time me and others in my age group down to the UK when we can prosper so much more in this global world that we live in today. So let me know, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think you'll be leaving the UK? Do you agree with my 5 reasons, or are there any others that you'd like to point out? Put those down in the comments below.